What's going on, everybody? Brian here from Brian's Broadcast. I hope all of you are doing fantastic. Today I'm going to review Oud Madness from the brand of Fragrance World. And if this is the first time you're visiting my channel, please make sure you're subscribed and hit the thumbs up button if you like contents like these. Before I proceed with this review, just know that this is not a sponsored content. And number two, I'm not going to compare this fragrance with the original Maison Crivelli Oud Maracuja. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. I'm going to talk strictly about Oud Madness because I do not own the OG, and usually on my channel I almost never go into comparison with a clone with the OG. With that out of the way, this is the beautiful box for Oud Madness. Almost looks like the OG box. So this is the outer sleeve, beautiful premium paper. I must say it's a nice sleeve outside, but with a very uninteresting box inside. Really was not impressed with this, but then again, sub $30, what do you expect? Let me show you the bottle. This is the wonderful inky blue bottle. It's got a very thick base. I don't know if you can see it properly. Yep, there you go. It's got a very thick glass base. The glass is very good quality, I must say. I did not see any bubbles inside. Got a nice atomizer. It shoots out quite an amount of juice, but in a mist form. So it's not one of your concentrated, focused atomizers. So you might want to spray this thing like from a closer distance. It's a magnetic cap. That was the interesting part. So sub $30, Oud Madness, what does it smell like? First, let me give you the information on the notes because there's not too much information about Oud Madness on the web or on YouTube or any other place. So I was able to find out a website where they have the notes listed. So on the top, you have passion fruit, some fruity notes, saffron, and Turkish rose. On the mids, you have oud, which is agarwood, Indonesian patchouli leaf, and warm benzoin. On the base, you have leather, akigala wood, ambergris, amber, vanilla, and labdanum. So this fragrance, Oud Madness, it really shines. I was surprised at how good this smells and the way this thing developed and the way it opened up throughout the day. It was amazing. Like sub $30, that amount of quality is highly commendable. Now, this is a oud fruity leather based fragrance. You must love all three, or at least a combination of two. That's just my opinion though. You could just love leather and not like the other things and you still love this fragrance. So let's talk about Oud Madness, what it smells like when you first spray it. You will be welcomed with this wonderful tarty sweet combination with sticky tarty combination of passion fruit and the mention of other fruits, or what did they say, fruity notes. I firmly believe there's the presence of bergamot and orange in this particular fragrance. So in the opening, you have this wonderful sticky sweet succulent combination, tarty combination of passion fruit with the citruses. I'm sure there's bergamot, I'm sure there's orange, some kind of orange, Sicilian or mandarin orange, but there's this nice sweetness, there's this succulent juicy vibe to this opening. Saffron over here plays a major role. Remember, the saffron, sometimes it's spicy, it's hot and spicy, sometimes it smells like the leathery spicy vibe. So in this particular case for Oud Madness, it's the sweet leathery vibe that you're getting from saffron. And the Turkish rose, in my opinion, is not overly done, which I personally really enjoyed because I'm not a big fan of rose. And Turkish rose has this sweet powdery kind of vibe, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong, but typically Turkish rose that I've smelled in fragrances, it comes with that almost like a musky, powdery kind of vibe with the rose, of course. But in this case, it just adds to the sweetness. It's not that rose, so it's acting more like a supporting note. Drying down, what I noticed is the oud plays a major role. The oud over here definitely has that tiny tad bit of animalic vibe, but it's not overly done. It's not one of your barnyard kind of smell like skanky oud. It's more on the woody, dry, like kind of woody and dry kind of oud. You do not get like too much skankiness. You do get some tiny tad bit of animalic vibe, but it's not too much. Patchouli does not smell earthy or like dirty. It's more on like how do I say this? It's more like a supporting note that adds to the darkness, because this fragrance, Oud Madness, it opens bright, very enjoyable, but as it's drying down, it's slowly turning into something more opulent, dark, resinous, and warm. So bright citruses with the fruity vibes slowly turning into something darker. That's where patchouli comes in. And the benzoin. The benzoin is more like a resinous note that you get. So I do not pick up too much of benzoin over here, but the sweetness, like a woody sweetness, is definitely there. You do feel the darkness slowly accumulating as the fragrance reaches the base. Now the base is where things get very interesting. The passion fruit and the fruity notes do not die out. Remember that. It just lives throughout the fragrance. Dry down period, right? So you get more prominent leather note combined with the passion fruit and fruity notes combination, which in my opinion is the most seductive part of this fragrance. Now, you may wonder like, oh my god, this might be very loud, it might be very screechy. Believe me, when you first spray this, the first 10 to 15 minutes, it's very loud. After that, it tones down and it becomes one of those soft, easygoing fragrances. I was really surprised at how easygoing Oud Madness was. Further drying down, the Akigala wood kind of gives you that almost like it has kind of like a watery kind of vibe. I don't know, I could be wrong. Dry, watery, aquatic vibe, but it's just plain marine kind of vibe, right? The ambergris. This is what I was really looking out to. The ambergris over here, I'm sure they probably did not use the authentic ambergris, but maybe the combination of ambroxan and other things. The thing, whatever they used, was perfectly done. It's got that almost like that authentic ambergris feel. And if you have been following my channel long enough, you know I do have fragrances and athars that have real authentic ambergris in it, so I perfectly know what it's supposed to smell like. And that's exactly what I got from this fragrance from Oud Madness. Beautifully done, like the leather, the passion fruit, the fruity vibe, the seductive, like it's phenomenal in my opinion. Like really enjoyed it. And with the vanilla, it's that creamy, nice, mild sweet vanilla. So it's more on the creamy sweet vanilla thing with that woody texture to it. And of course, the labdanum adds more to the resinous vibe of this fragrance. Really enjoyable, especially on colder days or crisp, cool days. This is what I really liked about this fragrance. Like it was not super loud, something that was very easy to wear. And it just, if you're dressed up, like you're maybe in a suit or maybe like semi-formal or a formal attire, this thing works best. It's an attention grabber for sure. And here's where things got really interesting, that the first 15 to 20 minutes, half an hour, this thing was pretty loud. After that, it immediately came around like slightly less than an arm's length, but it just kept me covered in the scent bubble, something that would just not go away. So it's not super loud, it stays close to you, so projection you could say it's like 30 to 40 minutes max. After that, this fragrance just kept on wafting throughout the day in a very mild and polite manner. It's almost like it's like a soft, soothing fragrance, almost like that combination of soft cotton wool, like white soft cotton wool with that sensual feel to it. Beautifully done. I mean, I hope it's making sense to you, but you do understand, like it's a very seductive and very appealing fragrance in my opinion. Longevity, if you're talking about longevity, I found this like with 7 to 8 sprays, this thing had a longevity of almost 8 to 10 hours on an average. And I'm pretty sure like if your body's heating up, if you're like in a warmer environment, this thing's gonna push even further. But on an average, 8 to 10 hours easy. And again, like I said, this is very easy to wear. It's more on the softer side, not super loud, but this thing keeps on wafting, leaves a wonderful scent trail. And in my opinion, a very seductive fragrance. Like this is like highly recommended. You want to kill the game with this on your first date? Just go for it. very inviting and alluring fragrance. So guys, that was my take on Fragrance World's Oud Madness. This is most likely a clone of Oud Maracuja by Maison Crivelli, but I'm not gonna go into any comparison. Like I said, I do not compare things that are clones of any other things. I'm just giving you information about Oud Madness only. If you made it this far, guys, I would highly appreciate if you have not subscribed yet. Please do subscribe and help me with the channel's production, because of course, more subscription, more viewers mean a better help for me to, keep up with the fragrance game. I love fragrances. I love creating contents for you guys. Do let me know in the comments if you have used this fragrance, and eventually I will buy the OG. So do let me know about the OG too. I highly respect and pay very close attention to what my viewers have to say about any other fragrance. So until the next one, please take care, stay safe, and all the best.